WNBA draft, the girls stepped. Caitlin was out there in Prada. Angel Reese, dress didn't get there. Another dress didn't fit. She came clean. Cameron Brink, like the girls stepped. It was truly an event to me for the first time, right? We paid attention to the WNBA draft like we've paid attention to NBA drafts. It's because of the popularity of the players involved, what they did for the college game. But then right after, Caitlin Clark's first 4 years of pay becomes an issue because she's going to be getting paid way less than she was from NIL at Iowa. How do you think this group of women can change what the WNBA has been, how it's been seen, how it's been followed, especially from someone who believes there are things about the WNBA game that doesn't attract fans?
Bro, my criticism of the WNBA is that there was no WNBA when I was a kid. I watched Jordan, I watched Barkley, I watched Shaq, I watched Kobe, I watched those guys. So I understand, and I've pushed back in the past about the pay scale because my whole thing is you eat what you kill.
Yeah.
And that's what the NBA doesn't do. WNBA doesn't make the money, the NBA does. But with Caitlin and with Angel, who's having the show, and I understand it, and I see, and the love, and 18.4 million viewers of that championship game and that semifinals game, like I'm seeing the progression of the women's game and I'm seeing the stardom. Because you see what I just brought up, what I say, Jordan, Kobe,
you're right.
LeBron, Steph. Like I didn't say teams' names, I said guys' names. And that's what Caitlin and the Angel are doing for the game. You saw what the Fever, Indiana Fever, you see what their numbers are doing now, ticket-wise with Caitlin? It was like $36 a ticket. Now it's like $140 a ticket because she's there and that's what they do. Bro, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it can be sustainable.
Yeah.
Because we talked about Caitlin before. Is she sustainable? Could it be a 2, 3, 4 year thing where people want to come watch her every single night like a Kobe? Yeah. But I think this new wave, and we talked about it before, I think this new social media wave of the love and the respect and the appreciation of these super talented women. Angel, Caitlin, I gotta go Juju. You know I love Juju. Like those girls are so talented. I think that it's the platform that they have now. I think they can sustain it. Can they sustain the WNBA to the level of the NBA? I don't believe it.
Yeah, I agree.
But can they get it closer than it was? Yeah. Can Caitlin Clark start making some real money?
Yeah.
Where these girls making $250, $300 a year, maybe? Yeah. And the NBA dudes making $30 million? I want to see them closer to that $30 million than $200,000.
The beautiful thing was the WNBA draft was finally an event. With the way that it was covered, with the excitement that surrounded it, with the different teams holding parties and draft parties so they could see and be a part of who they select. That felt more NBA, that felt more NFL, that felt more big time league. But it's about the class of women that were drafted. It's about Caitlin Clark and Cameron Brink and Cardoso and Angel Reese. All of these women changed the face of women's basketball, which is odd to say because A'ja Wilson can hoop. Candace Parker could always hoop. You could go back to Maya Moore, who we could take, Dawn Staley, Cheryl Swoop, Cheryl Miller. Taurasi, right? And so they've always had these amazing basketball players, but they haven't gotten the push behind them that the men's game has gotten. And you mentioned it. It's because they needed stars. And not just stars from what they can do on the basketball court, their star stories needed to be built. And now they've done that in college, but college sort of has like this built-in community, this built-in viewership, so to speak, that grew because of the rivalries and stories of these young ladies. So what does it do now for the WNBA? The Las Vegas Aces have already had to move their games from their arena to T-Mobile when they play Caitlin Clark because they expect that many people. Now you know what has to happen? Caitlin Clark has to deliver. Yeah. Caitlin Clark has to be a star. Cardoso has to be a star. Angel Reese has to be a star. The boys and girls and the men and the women have to want to show up to see these people play because now we won't have to discuss when the next Caitlin Clark comes along how much she'll be making the next 4 years.
But what did Kobe do on his last game in Staples? They dropped.
He went for 60.
That's what it's about. So Caitlin and them are gonna play. They had to move the venue. Caitlin dropped 60, and I'm going to watch that game. And if you drop 60, I guarantee you to watch the next game.